Welcome to my channel. Tonight, I bring you a story that will make you feel fear creeping into every corner. So brace yourself and surrender to the darkness. The mind stretched out like a gaping, endless mouth carved into the side of the mountain. From the outside, it looked like nothing more than a forgotten crack in the stone, an abandoned path left behind by time. But those who dared to step inside knew one thing: there was no turning back. That day, a group of miners decided to explore an old sealed-off tunnel, one that local legends called the Gallery of Treasure. At first, everything seemed normal. Their lanterns pushed back just a few feet of darkness ahead, while the echo of their footsteps on the damp earth whispered back at them, unsettling and strange. Every crack in the rock, every shifting shadow seemed alive in the gloom. Through nervous laughter, they joked about hidden fortunes and treasures lost by generations long gone. But none of them imagined the nightmare waiting inside. After winding through a maze of narrow passages, one miner tripped over a loose stone. As it rolled away, something glimmered beneath the dust, a faint golden shine. There it was, a small chest, its surface etched with markings nearly erased by time. Excitement flooded the group. Greed, silent but powerful, began to creep into their minds. Each of them envisioned what they could do with the treasure, too distracted to notice how the mine itself seemed to watch them, as though it knew something had been unleashed. Behind them, the tunnels grew tighter, the walls pressing closer. The air turned heavier, and the echoes of their steps no longer felt like echoes at all. It was as if something else was walking alongside them, something whispering from the damp stone. At first, nobody dared to speak of it, but soon unease showed on their faces. Short glances, lingering silences, lanterns trembling in unsteady hands. The greed was growing, feeding the paranoia, while the chest itself gleamed with a glow that felt unnatural. Deeper inside, strange noises stirred. Stones tumbling somewhere in the distance, wooden beams creaking under unseen weight, cold draft slipping through cracks, carrying whispers that made their skin crawl. The first argument came when one of them insisted they should leave, take the treasure out, and divide it above ground. Another refused, convinced more riches lay hidden deeper inside. Their voices clashed, echoing down the passageways. The mine seemed to respond to their anger, breathing back their words with a wet, sinister whisper. Then, without warning, the earth roared. A partial collapse sealed off the tunnel behind them. Their only way out, gone. Darkness swallowed them whole. Only the faint flicker of their lanterns kept the abyss at bay. The treasure, once a blessing, now felt like a curse. Paranoia spread like a plague. Every shadow moved, every reflection of light on the damp walls seemed alive, mocking them. Then came the thought, silent at first, but growing louder in each of their minds. Why share? Why trust? Why not take it all? The treasure had turned them against each other. Fear fed greed, and greed sharpened into betrayal. The air grew thicker, damp and metallic, filling their lungs with something ancient and suffocating. The mine itself seemed alive, breathing, shifting, pulsing with a heartbeat that wasn't theirs. The ground trembled under each step, rocks tumbled at their feet, and the walls seemed to close in, as if the earth itself was herding them towards the chest, or towards their doom.
The mine was drowning in an oppressive silence, broken only by the faint drip of water echoing from the damp ceiling and the unsettling groans of shifting earth. The trapped miners could feel anxiety mixing with greed. each step toward the treasure pulling them deeper into something they couldn't see, something that lurked in the dark. Their lanterns cast weak, flickering beams, carving twisted shadows that moved as if alive. The first spark of violence came without a word. A careless shove, a sharp blow, the sudden collapse of stone, and then a scream, cut short as one miner tumbled into a narrow shaft, trapped forever in the darkness below. The echo of his fall was less a sound and more a warning. Suspicion grew. Eyes darted nervously. Breaths quickened. Whispers slithered through the tunnels, darker than the black rock around them. Each man began to think not of survival, but of how he might claim the treasure for himself. Rescue was no longer a thought. Only greed remained. The air grew heavy, thick with moisture. The mine itself seemed to breathe, its walls expanding and contracting, reshaping the tunnels they thought they knew. Every shadow became an enemy, every echo a grim omen. Paranoia took hold. Some miners wandered off into narrow shafts alone. Others stayed, clutching at the treasure, blind to how close they were to their own destruction. The conflict spiraled. One by one, they fell. A cave-in swallowed one. Another misstepped, plunging into an endless abyss. The rest turned on each other, fists and picks clashing in the suffocating dark. Greed had brought them here. Now it consumed them. Their screams faded into the tunnels, replaced by a silence even heavier than before. The treasure still gleamed in the dim light, untouched, as if mocking them. The twisting, dripping tunnels became death traps. Each falling stone, each cracking echo, part of a plan the mine had been keeping all along. Desperation led them to search for exits that didn't exist. Some vanished into winding passages, never to return. Hours passed. Greed sealed their fate. None survived. The mine claimed everything. The treasure, their bodies, even their hope. Darkness swallowed the last echo. Silence pressed down once again, heavy and eternal. The mountain whispered, mocking human ambition. When night fell over the slopes, the mine still seemed alive. The wind slipped through the cracks like a sigh, lifting dust and bones, as if the mountain itself was sweeping away its secrets. Moonlight touched the blocked entrances, catching brief flashes of gold and jewels, treasures shining forever unclaimed. Greed had destroyed them, and the mountain made sure no one else would escape. The tale of the trapped miners lingered, etched into stone. A grim reminder: unchecked ambition leads only to ruin. The mind waited, patient, eternal, ready for the next soul foolish enough to challenge its darkness. In the end, only the treasure remained, brilliant, untouched, surrounded by damp earth and shattered rock. The night wind carried whispers through the hollow tunnels, but no one was left to hear them. The mountain stood silent, satisfied with the lesson it had given. Darkness was absolute, and human greed, the real monster. Thank you for listening to this story. If it gave you chills, let me know your favorite part in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because every story here is a doorway into the unknown.